back to my channel. Today I have a mid-June message for all of the Geminis out in the collective. Please note this is going to be a general reading, so it is not going to resonate with every single Gemini out in the collective. I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So without further ado, Gemini, let's go ahead and dive right into your mid-June message. So Gemini, we are starting out with the Shadow Queen. Be strong. And fork in the road. Okay, Gemini, I feel that your message this mid-month is very, very clear. I feel that right now in this month, you're sort of feeling as, you're not feeling like yourself. Okay, so I want to just point out here that I feel like you're needing to make a specific choice. You're needing to choose a specific path. I do feel like the choices that you have made up until this point have really made you doubt yourself. It's interesting because when the Shadow Queen comes up, it really speaks about acquiring knowledge as you go upon a journey, as you go upon a specific path, as you choose a specific path to go upon. But it also talks about your own sense of insecurity that you feel, and it can often speak about being manipulated. I want to ask you here, Gemini, have you been, manipulating yourself into believing that you made the right choice? When you have this sense of doubt that maybe you didn't make the right proper choice. Maybe you're doubting whatever decision you might have made. But here's the thing. There is no such thing as a right path and a wrong path. Every path leads you to something specific that you need to learn. And not other people may recognize that. But that doesn't mean that you have to justify your actions every single time, right? With the goddess Sekhmet, her message is that you are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. Which this means is that you have to take the lead. You have to be confident in your choices. You have to be confident in the decisions that you make. With that being said here, Gemini, the fork in the road really speaks about a path that you must take, right? And once you choose which path to take, you have to face it head on. Whatever challenges, whatever obstacles, whatever consequences come about on the path that you have chosen, you have to face it. There is no such thing as going back. You can't go back and make a change. You have to just sort of accept what is and accept the outcome of whatever path that you have specifically chosen. I do feel that a lot of times here, Gemini, you might actually make choices based off of a sense of insecurity. You might be really insecure in your own decisions, and that's okay, but you have to honor that. You have to own that, right? You have to own your sense of insecurity, and you have to understand that, that insecurity is something that you ultimately need to work on, right? It doesn't mean that it makes you a bad person. It just means that you're needing to grow and learn more about who you are and what you want out of life, right? So I feel that whenever you make a decision here, Gemini, you can't feel bad about the decisions or the choices that you've made. You have to just own the decisions. You have to recognize that by being courageous and brave enough to do something means that you have to be confident in your choices. And you can't be wishy-washy about them. You have to, once you've made a choice, you have to walk that path, holding your head up high, being brave and being courageous enough to face whatever comes about when you're on that path, okay? So let's see what else comes up for you here. So right off the bat, we are starting off with the Two of Cups in reversed with the Eight of Wands in reversed. Okay, so right off the bat, I don't know what is going on right now here, Gemini, but I do really feel that this is the third video I've recorded today. And I've just done Aries and Taurus, and both of those were about relationships, and I have a feeling that yours is about relationships as well. So this is the turning point, I guess, for everyone out in the collective. We're going to talk about relationships. So I really feel that this mid-month, whatever doubt or insecurity that you have, that you are doubting or has to do with a specific relationship. And I'm going to just be brave enough here, Gemini, and say that this pertains to a love relationship, right? This could be a marriage, whatever it might be. There was a lot of lack of communication in this relationship. It could have been just you. You weren't communicating how you were actually feeling. Maybe you weren't really passionate about this relationship. Maybe you thought you were, but in reality, you really weren't. Whatever this relationship is, it's not in sync. It's not in harmony anymore. I just feel like it started off that way. I do feel it might have started out real hot and heavy. It might have started where you guys felt connected. You felt that sense of energy and that sense of longing and that passion. But now it doesn't feel that way. It feels almost like the two of you aren't on the same page anymore. And if that's the case here, then that is what you're needing to be confident about. You're needing to own that and recognize that whatever choice or whatever decision you made, or whatever it is that you're contemplating now, because I do feel like you're sitting here waiting. You're waiting for like, what's my next move? What's my next choice? What do I need to do from this point going forward? It's almost like you're waiting for a sign here, Gemini. You're waiting for either someone or something to communicate with you before you choose to take this path or make this specific choice. But here's the thing. Again, your message is about whatever choice you make, you need to own that choice, right? There is no being wishy-washy about it. It's not like straddling the line and saying, well, I'm just going to sit here and wait before I decide to make that first move. You have to decide. And you have to remember that whatever decision you make, it's leading you to your next core. It's leading you to the next phase. It's leading you to the next place where you're meant to be. And here's the interesting thing. You got the Strength card here, which represents the lion, right? And Goddess Sekhmet is about being courageous, being brave, recognizing your own inner strength, and being willing to face that headstrong, no matter what comes about, right? No matter what you might face, it's being willing to face that. You need to be confident in yourself here, Gemini. And I feel like you're not really being confident. It's almost like you're second guessing the choices that you've made up until this point. And it's almost like you're afraid to acknowledge that. It could be that maybe because you made a choice sort of at the spur of the moment when it came to a specific relationship, maybe you jumped in too soon. And if that's the case, Gemini, then this confidence is really like holding you back, right? Because you're like, I don't feel confident that I made the right choice. Okay, but here's the thing. You have to be so confident in the choices that you made. Understand that whatever's transpired, whatever choices you've made up until this point, Gemini, it's leading you to something more solid and more foundational, right? That's not to say that you're not learning along the way and that things aren't going to be bumpy, right? I do feel that things are going to be bumpy for you. But again, that is the path that you have chosen, right? Whenever the fork in the road is a 13, which reduces to a 4, right? And now you have the 4 of Wands. 4s are all about our foundations, our sense of security, and our sense of stability, right? And so it doesn't mean that whatever choice you make is going to be rock solid, right? It isn't, right? We're going to have doubts. We're going to question whether we made the right choice and whether we're moving in the right direction. But ultimately, as long as we are brave and we are courageous enough and we recognize how strong we really are internally and externally, we'll know that we will be able to overcome. And as long as we're willing to face it head on, right? I do want to point out also here, Gemini, that Spirit is really wanting you to face your inner demons. The word insecurity keeps popping up in my mind here. And what it keeps reminding me of is that a lot of times we like to hide our insecurities in the dark. it's almost like the phrase out of sight, out of mind. Like as long as we're not, you know, bringing it to the surface, then we can just continue to believe that it doesn't exist or that it's not there. I see a lot of fire here, which represents light, okay, which represents needing to shine a light on your insecurity here, so that you can become confident and strong and be able to be confident in your choices no matter where it leads you, okay? You're really needing this, okay? And I feel that whatever relationship that you that's now sort of turned upside down, you need to recognize that there were things in that relationship that you were unhappy about, right? There might have been a lot of insecurities in that relationship. But again, you have to own that, right? The moon represents our ability to face our deep innermost secrets, not only about ourselves, but about how we feel, okay? And this is very interesting because the Two of Cups speaks about partnerships and it speaks about relationships. And I feel that with the moon, it's really about all of the hidden problems in a relationship, right? All of those problems that we tend to ignore, that we tend to turn a blind eye to. That's what you're needing to really be aware of. Understand that the more that you focus on those problems, the more that you become aware of what it is you're truly wanting out of a relationship and how to find the balance and the harmony in those relationships. It's not about, you know, sort of hiding everything. You have to bring those things to the surface. And I think you're very used to hiding your emotions or hiding your insecurities. You don't communicate your insecurities very well here, Gemini. And I feel that that's what causes a lot of confusion in relationships, because you don't know how to voice what you're feeling or what you're needing. And that can often cause that causes manipulation. Okay. I'm not going to beat around the bush here, Gemini. I really feel like your inability to be able to honor your own emotions and how you feel, or how certain things that occur in your life make you feel. Your inability to voice your emotions or what you feel can often be very manipulative, because you're blaming other people for your own insecurities. And you can't blame other people for your own insecurities. You have to be willing to face them and make conscious choices. Recognize that, you know what, every time this happens, I feel this way. And when you feel that way, you need to ask yourself, what is it that I need in that moment when I'm feeling that way to make myself feel whole, to feel loved, to feel supported, to feel complete? Understand that it's not someone else's responsibility to make you happy or to make you feel loved or supported. You have to be willing to give that to yourself, because you're the only one that's going to know how to make you feel that way. You're the only one that's going to know what it is you need in the moment that you need it. But if you're unwilling to acknowledge your own emotions, it's going to be very challenging and very daunting for you to find harmony and balance in a relationship. And what that means is that the more that you keep waiting for someone else to fulfill your needs or your desires, the more they're going to walk away from you. Because the Eight of Cups is really about walking away from the things that are no longer fulfilling to you. And I feel that this is what happens whenever you are unsatisfied in a relationship, Gemini. You walk away from it. You sort of detach yourself emotionally because you feel like they're not providing you with the sense of love and support that you need. But you don't even know what you need because you're not addressing those needs. You're not even acknowledging those needs. And this is a very big, deep message. Now, I do feel that you want this kind of romantic love that I feel Hollywood glamorizes all of the time. But here's the thing. The Knight of Cups brings in a proposal, right? Offers you a cup of love. But here's the thing. When new relationships come into your life, you will continue to repeat the same cycles until you are able to truly acknowledge your own insecurities, your own secrets, right? When you are able to face your own demons. Because here's the thing, this Knight of Cups is facing your past. So this tells me that you probably had a relationship in the past that was like what you would consider to be your knight in shining armor, but now they're not a part of your life anymore. And now you're really sort of trying to fill this void that, you know, whatever person comes into your life now when it pertains to love and relationships, you're basically sort of categorizing them, these new people, to that old person. And that's not going to happen, right? Understand that your inner strength when it comes to relationships resides in what you can give yourself. I really want to point that out here, Gemini, because I feel like you like to put yourself in a space where you feel like the world is closing in on you all of the time. And it sort of puts you in this space of like being the martyr. Like everyone's always attacking me. It's always about me, right? That you're always at fault or whatever that might be here, Gemini. But the thing is that you have to be willing to stand up for yourself. And how you stand up for yourself is being willing to face your own insecurities, being willing to say, I'm just as much as fault of not giving to myself, of not loving myself, of not honoring myself because I don't fulfill my own needs. I don't even acknowledge my own feelings or what's currently going on within me. And this is where you're needing to find balance. Temperance is all about walking the middle path, walking this path of moderation, recognizing that we have to find balance within our emotions and within ourselves. It's about recognizing that we have to find balance in all things, right? Masculine, feminine, everything. That everything that gets thrown in at us at once, Gemini, we have to find the balance. We have to find that harmony where we can be in that path, whatever path it is that we choose, and we be okay with the choices that we've made and not feel like we made a mistake or regret the choices that we've made. So this is very interesting, Gemini. Very, very, very interesting, because I feel like what they're saying here is that in order for you to find the type of love that you are truly desiring or the type of relationship that you want so badly truly resides within you. You have to love you enough to recognize that there are things within you that you need to heal. You have some insecurities, some doubts about yourself. You lack confidence in yourself here, Gemini, and you're needing to reflect on that. And you're needing to figure out how to love yourself wholeheartedly so that you can walk a path without any shame, without any guilt, and be proud of the path that you have chosen. So Gemini, this is your message this month. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.